Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I want to, now today we will study functions. The further part in the functions is graphs of a function. Today we will be studying some basic functions and different types of functions that are generally used in a syllabus, those functions which are there in a syllabus, and what is the meaning of graphs of a function. Okay. Last class we stopped to domain and range, and that part will also be revisited again. Now let's start with graphs. So if I tell you to, let's say, consider, I just tell you, plot the graph of the mapping f of x is equals to x plus 2, let's say, okay, where f is from real numbers to real numbers. So you should understand that this graph means what. First of all, why graphs are plotted? Because graphs are plotted because the pictorial representation gives us a better, in terms of algebra, if you do, and if you see a picture related to that thing, you can get a better understanding of the subject. Screen should be visible now. So when I tell you to plot the graph of this mapping, first thing you should keep in mind is that the horizontal x-axis generally that we take, horizontal x-axis, and this vertical x-axis, vertical y-axis, sorry, horizontal x-axis is called my, is not called, it is generally my domain axis, the domain of the points. You can also call it as a domain axis. This is not a standard word. Domain axis is not the standard word. This is just for your understanding I'm telling you. And the vertical axis, on the y-axis, you can call it as the image axis. So if I tell you, let's say f of x is equals to x plus 2. So if you take a, whether, can you see that the domain of this function is complete, the complete set of real numbers? This mapping, first of all, check that this mapping is actually a function, and this domain, the set R, this set R. If you take x equal to 0, what will be f of 0 if x is equals to 0? Can you say what will be the image of x equal to 0? So image of x equal to 0 will be the point 2. Image of x equal to 1, f of 1 is equals to 3. Image of point 2, image of point 2 of 2 will be equal to 4, and all those things. Similarly, x equal to minus 1, the image will be f of minus 1 is equals to 1. If x is equals to minus 2, the image of f of minus 2 will be 0. So if I just plot, if x equal to 0, what is, where should be my image? My image should be over here. If x equal to 3, sorry, if x equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. If x equal to 1, my image should be over here. If x is equals to 2, my image should be over here, and so on. If x equal to minus 1, the image is 1. If x equal to minus 2, the image is 2. So now in the straight, I directly join these points, and so this is the graph of my function. Actually, the true student of mathematics should ask me this question. I think I've already said this point in your class. So when you join x equal to 0 and x equal to 1, actually you should check, you should plot all the images of the between also. Means for x equal to 0.1, for x equal to 0.1, the image will be somewhere over here. For x equal to 0.2, the image will be somewhere over here. For x equal to 0.3, the image will be somewhere over here. So if you actually verify all points in between, you can say that, sir, they are in the straight line. This result is not that, it is not an obvious result. Yeah, that they will definitely lie in a straight line. You have to prove it mathematically, but that this equation graph will be a straight line. Are you understanding the importance of my question? Because so in this question, just understand that this is the graph. Okay, so graph means what are the important points to take from this example? The The important points to take is the horizontal x-axis is generally the domain axis. The vertical y-axis is the image axis. We take any point on the x-axis and plot its corresponding image on the y-axis and join all such points. Actually, here I have connected all these points over here and I found that they form a straight line. So this straight line is the graph of the mapping f of x equal to x plus 2. If I tell you, let's say another example, if I consider plot the graph f of x is equals to x square minus 1. Okay. So if I tell you to plot the graph of the mapping f of x equal to x square minus 1, we are obviously dealing in real numbers. So now here, horizontal x-axis will be my domain axis, the real numbers, vertical y-axis, my image axis. So for x equal to 0, y will be minus 1. For x equal to 1, y will be equal to 0. For x equal to 2, for x equal to 2, pi will be equal to 3. I'm just plotting the approximate graph. For x equal to 3, pi will be equal to 3 square 9 minus 1 8. It will go very much up. For x equal to minus 1, it will be 0. For x equal to minus 2, it will again be 3. For x equal to minus 3, it will again be 8. So can you see the graph is now, if you see, now one student may argue, sir, can we plot it in a straight line? So here the graph is not a straight line form of a U. It's a very proper curve U. The diagram drawn it up to the scale. Therefore, at the bottom edge, you can see a sharp point. In this graph, actually, it is not a sharp point. It's a very proper smooth curve. But that this error is coming because my drawing is not good. Okay, now another the point that I want to convey to you is, sir, on what basis are you saying that from x equal to 1 to x equal to 2 that this shape will form a straight line only? It's not exactly a straight line, a smooth curve. Why, on what basis are you, why are you denying this possibility that the graph in between x equal to 1 and x equal to 2, it may go up and down and then at 2 it may join there? What point verified that, sir, f of 1 is equals to 0 that we have plotted? We have image of x equal to 2 is 3. In between we have not verified any points. We can verify some few points. We may take 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 and so on. Or we may take 1.11, 1.57, like that. 30 points we may verify, but we cannot definitely we cannot verify all the infinite points in between. So still, if you cannot verify, how can you deny this possibility? If some student asks me that it may happen, sir, that in between x equal to 1 and x equal to 2, the graph may abruptly go up and abruptly come down. What is the proof that it does not happen? So to that student, I will have to answer that right now I cannot give you the proof. Right now, in order to give you the proof, I will require the weapons. Right now, I will have to tell you that just accept it. Okay, your question is 100% correct. Actually, it's a question and this doubt should come in your mind. But to answer that question, we will require the tools of calculus. So for now, it means in the proper way, the proper way to construct a graph is take all the points on the domain axis on the x-axis, mark all the corresponding images and join those images. So here x square minus 1, I took some few points. I already knew from my knowledge of calculus, I already knew that this x square minus 1, it's a quadratic equation, and quadratic equation is a U curve, parabola curve. So I combined that knowledge of my calculus and the graph, and I directly plotted this U. Half knowledge of graph and half knowledge of calculus, and I directly stated that okay, this U will be there. I didn't bother what is happening in between. Getting it? Understood the meaning of graph? What is the meaning of graph? So now we will see some properties of graph of a function. Okay. In this example only, if I tell you question is where does the line x is equals to 1.5 meet the graph of f of x is equals to x square minus 1. This is my option. Where does the line x is equals to 1.5 meet the graph of f of x equal to x square minus 1? Think for a minute and then I will explain. It's not a difficult question. Cannot afford much time on this question. If you're already able to solve, just tell me. If you're able to understand the concept of this question, just write yes in the chat box. Sir. This is clear to us. Just write yes. Let's see. Where does the line x equal to 1.5? First of all, when I'm telling line x equal to 1.5, first of all, you should ask yourself whether actually x equal to 1.5 is a line. In linear equations in school, I mean, in 10th standard only, you have studied that this is actually a line, considering x equal to 1.5. If you could restrict yourself in a single dimension, that is single variable x, this is a point. But if you expand your dimension to two dimensions, that is x and y, considering your world to be of two variables, linear equation in two variables, this is a straight line. What straight line this is? X equal to 1.5. This is a line perpendicular to x-axis. Do you remember this? Now this part is of 10th standard. X equal to 1.5, the line is something like this. Sir, x is 1.5 given, but what is the value of y? Y is not given. So along with x equal to 1.5, I can take y equal to 1, I can take y equal to 2, I can take y equal to 3. If you join all those points, you get a straight line this way, the blue line that I have drawn. What is asked in the question? Where does this blue line meet the graph of x square minus 1? X square minus 1 graph, what is there? The purple graph we have drawn. So f of x equal to x square minus 1 purple graph, you can plot x equal to 1.5. This blue line you have drawn, blue line when you have drawn, actually that is the graph of, okay, blue line you have drawn, and this is asked to you. What is that point? So what actually is that point? Means what are the coordinates of that point? Can you see that the coordinates, the x coordinate of this point is, sir? Yes, answer is, if this is point P, the answer is point P. And what are the coordinates of point P? Coordinates of point P, sir, x coordinate of point P is 1.5 only. That is obvious. It's perpendicular to x-axis. What is the y coordinate? How do you plot the y coordinates? The y coordinate means this graph, this point P is lying on the graph. No, if it is lying on the graph, the purple line, purple graph means the y coordinate is the image of this x. How are we, the purple graph, how are we plotting it? We are taking x and we are finding its image under this mapping x square minus 1. So the y coordinate of point P, what it will be? F of 1.5, which will be equal to, so 1.5 square minus 1. 1.5 square is 2.25. Subtraction 1 gives me 1.25. So the point P coordinates will be x coordinate is 1.5, y coordinate is 1.25. Is this clear? Okay. So now if this question is clear, this was my question number 1. My question number 2. Where does the line y is equals to 15 meet the graph of f of x is equals to x square minus 1? At any point, if you are having any doubt, unmute at that very moment. Are you getting, students? So where does the line y equal to 15? Now, how does line y equal to 15 will be? So y equal to 15, if you just see the line, y equal to 15 is a horizontal line. In the two-dimensional world, y equal to 15 is a horizontal line. Okay, so let me draw it in red. Y equal to 15. Here, let's say this is the point y equal to 15. Now there is no condition on x. So my horizontal, it will be x. I can take one also fixed. Keep y as fixed, but x will can be anything. So I can take x equal to 1, x equal to 2, x equal to 3, x equal to minus 1, x equal to minus 2, x equal to minus, and so on. So this is my line y equal to 15. So if this is my line y equal to 15, the red line, where does this meet the graph? So this meets the graph at this point. So there are two such points, and forget two such points, just concentrate what I'm telling. if I'm taking this point, Pujita, the answer is wrong. When you're taking this point, this graph, the horizontal line y equal to 15, can you see that this, the point, we consider this as point Q. So if Q is point such that Q is the point of intersection of the horizontal line y equal to 15 and the graph, the purple graph that we have drawn. So observe that Q, it is not that x coordinate of Q is 15. It is, observe that y coordinate of Q is 15. So when I will just draw that from the solution, I will just draw, let line y equal to 15 meet the graph of f of x equal to x square minus 1 in point Q. Observe, what to observe? Y coordinate of Q is equals to 15. Y coordinate of Q will, whatever is the graph. This is a very simple shape, U shape. Even if it's a very random shape, the y coordinate will be 15. So if y coordinate is 15, what will be the corresponding x coordinate? So let that corresponding x coordinate be anything. Okay, now this graph is not up to proper scale. So we'll just, so what is the x coordinate? I do not know what is the x coordinate. So let that x coordinate be small q. I'm just representing it by small q. So whatever that x coordinate is there, x coordinate of q is equals to, let's say, small q. So do you realize that f small q is equals to 15? Not the other way around. You do not have to calculate the image of 15. You have to find such a point whose image is 15. 15 itself is the image. You do not have to find the image of 15. You have to find a point such that whose image is 15. This y coordinate. So f of q is equals to 15. That is q square minus 1 is equals to 15. So q square will become 16. So this implies that q should be equal to 4 or q should be equal to minus 4. So mathematics is telling me that there, if you draw a line y equal to 15, it will intersect the graph of f of x equal to x square minus 1 in 2 points. Which 2 points? Sir, first point will be 4, 15, and the second point will be minus 4, 15. See whether mathematics is correct or not. From the picture we can see, yes, indeed the horizontal line is intersecting this graph in 2 points. This point is q1, which is 4, 15, and this point is q2, which is negative 4, 15. Don't bother here about the scale, okay? Scale is wrong. Is this clear? So now, if is this clear, so I will move on to the next point, if this part is clear. So now observe one thing. What is the definition of a function? If I tell you the definition of a function is each and every point of the domain should have an image. And what is the second condition? They should have exactly one image. So if I'm telling that my domain is on the horizontal x-axis, whatever is the points, all of them should form an image. And if they should form exactly one image. So can you see that, let's say if 2 is in my domain, if suppose 2, this point 2 is in my domain. So 2, its image, if I form to be at above this point, somewhere over here. So that should be the single image of point 2. I cannot mark the another image of 2. If I mark another point somewhere over, which is again an image of 2, so that will violate the definition of function. So the moral of this story is, a graph, if a line is drawn perpendicular to the x-axis, if a line is drawn perpendicular to x-axis, it will intersect the graph in exactly one point. Do you agree with me? For a graph, if I draw for a graph from x equal to 2, if I draw a line perpendicular from x equal to 2, if I draw it perpendicular to x-axis, and if suppose the graph is, okay, first write the remarks. A line parallel to y-axis, that is a line parallel to y-axis, in other words perpendicular to x-axis. A line parallel to y-axis, that is perpendicular to x-axis, intersects the graph of a function in exactly one point. And second remark is what? A line parallel to x-axis, that is perpendicular to y-axis. So parallel to x-axis means the horizontal line. So a horizontal line may intersect, okay, may intersect the graph of a function may intersect the graph of a function in 0 points, that is nothing that do not intersect at all, in 1 point or more than 1 points. Horizontal line, if how many points it will intersect, there is no limit on it. Write these remarks and I will explain you, I will illustrate this with examples. So now let's see. 1 minute. Make one small correction. Here, this is going straight. Okay. Okay. Have you drawn the diagram, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So this. So that this whole thing, the curve that is there, it's the graph. Now I have not given you, I have not expressed this graph in this mapping. This is the graph of a mapping. Now I have not expressed this mapping in terms of a formula of x. I have not expressed it in terms of formula, just a pictorial graph I have given you of the mapping, pictorial representation of the mapping. Now my question is, first, find the point where the line x is equals to 0 meets the graph. The second question is, this purple thing is the graph, okay, the complete purple thing. It's my graph. The second question is, How many images does the point 3 in the domain have? What the images of point 3? How many points of the domain? First, write all the questions. Okay. How many points of the domain have their images as -4? How many points of the domain have their images as -5? How many points of the domain have their images as -3? How many points of the domain have their images as 0? Okay, solve this much, then we'll move ahead. Tell me to scroll up and down as you wish. If I just zoom out, it will not be that clear. At this zoom level, is the questions clear? No need to write answers in the chat box. You can just write A, B, C, D. If A is done, just write A. If you're done with question number B, just write B. If you're done with question number C, just write C. So, if you're stuck at some question, also write in the chat box DEXP. DEXP matlab, sir, explain the D parts. I will give you a private hint. That way you will not waste your time. Bombay EXP, DEXP. So I will give you a hint for B. Okay. Pujit, I'm telling you, sending you a private message since you asked for one question. This question is the hint for your doubt, Pujita. The question that I have sent you. I'm waiting for your response, students. Not the exact answer, not the actual answers in the chat box. Just write done so that I will go on with the explanation. A to F. How many questions you have done? Okay, Dhananjay has completed up to C part. D also. Second question, the language is not 100% correct. How many images does the point 3 of the domain make? Right, 3 in the domain, that maybe took some confusion. How many point images does the point 3 of the domain have? Shall I proceed with the explanation? Makrand, are you getting? Makrand, are you getting the answer?
No, sir.
Then at least write EXP in the chat box. Keshav, Keshav, are you getting understanding what is going on? Anything also? Okay. Chalo, see. Find the point. First of all, if I just forget the questions, if I just give you this much, This is the graph of a sum mapping. So from this visual representation, what can you interpret? Means how much information can you gather? This -1, -3, 2, 6, 3, 0, 5, -3, 6, 0. What are these points? What do they signify? First thing that you should understand that this horizontal x-axis is the domain axis. You take your domain on the horizontal x-axis, and on the image, you plot on the y-axis. So when I'm talking about the graph of my mapping, passes through the point 2, 6, or in other words, the better language would be 2, 6 lies on my graph. So this 2, 6 is actually what, sir? You will interpret that this 2 is the x coordinate. So you will say that, sir, 2 is in my domain, and the image of 2 is equals to 6. If you're talking about this 0, so this 0 origin lies on my graph. Origin lies on my graph of the mapping. So what is the x coordinate of this point? X coordinate is my domain. And what is the image of that point? Image of that point is my y coordinate, which is again 0 only. What will this point signify? Point B. Point B signifying that, sir, my x coordinate is 3. 3 is my domain. 3 is not my domain, sorry. 3 is a point in my domain. 3 is a point in my domain whose image is the y coordinate. Y coordinate where I am plotting. I am plotting the y coordinate as 0 only. So the image of 3 is 0. Image of 5 is -4. This corresponding to point C. But D also you find, E also you'll find. So from F to G, I'm having confusion. From F to G, I'm having confusion that this is a horizontal line. So many, all of these 3, 3, 3, 3, y coordinate is 3. So many times it is being repeated. Is that a function or not a function? Means whether should I call it a function or should I not call it a function? So observe that if you take any point, this is, let's say, x equal to 15. How many y coordinates does it have? It has only single y coordinate, that is 15. So that is 3. If you take x equal to 16, how many y coordinates does it have? It has a single y coordinate, that is 3. If you take x equal to 17, how many y coordinates does it have? It has a single y coordinate, that is 3. So if you take any point in this x-axis, it is having a single y coordinate. It is having a single y coordinate means what? It is having a single image. In terms of arrow diagrams, the thing that is arrow diagrams will go afterwards. You can write here as, so the image of 15. The image of 15 is also 3. The image of 16 is also 3. The image of 17 is also 3. The image of 18 is also 3. No problem, it will still be a function. Even 15.1, the image is 3. 15.2, the image is 3, and so on. So in terms of arrow diagrams, it is something like this. Set A and set B. My F is a mapping from here to here. This is my mapping F. In set A, there may be 3 or 4 points or lot many points which will get mapped, which will get paired up with the same element. That should not cause any trouble for us. So this is valid. This is acceptable. Different points getting paired up to same element. The only thing that is not acceptable is, sir, single point getting paired up with 2 different elements. So a single point on the x-axis, you can call this x-axis, and you can call this as this set on the y-axis. Single point, single x coordinate corresponding to 2 y coordinates. This will be problematic. So as of now, these coordinates 2, 6, 3, 0, what is the interpretation of these in terms of images? Image of 2 is 6, image of 0 is 0, image of 3 is 0, image of 5 is -4, and so on. So now coming to answering our questions, check whether you got it right or not. Find the point where the line x equal to 0 meet the graph. So what is our line x equal to 0? X equal to 0 is the perpendicular line. So that is the y-axis. So y-axis, where does this meet the graph? This is my graph, this curve. Where does this perpendicular line meet it? It meets the line at O only. So the answer to this first question is it meets the line at point O whose coordinates are 0, 0. How many images does the point 3 of the domain have? How many images the point 3 is in the domain also, and point 3, sorry, not the point, the element 3. Element 3 is in the domain also, and element 3 is in the co-domain also. That is the image axis. So actually, I wanted to give you the next question, this only. Means further questions on the F, G, H. Some question further, I will give you this. B question is what? How many images does the point 3 of the domain have? And next question that I want to give you is how many points of the domain have 3 as their image? Now these two questions are related, but they are completely different. Language wise it's look like same hi to hai, but they are not same. How many images does the point 3 have? So you have to concentrate at point B. 3 is in the domain. How many images does it have? So this point B, it has one image. The answer is it has one image. What is the image? Sir, f of 3 is equals to 0, the corresponding to point B, this point B. And if I answer this question, how many points of the domain have 3 as their images? So the answer to this question is infinite. There are infinite points in the domain which has 3 as their image. For that, you will have to concentrate on this region, F to G. Because when I'm talking about 3 as the image, so 3 as the image means you have to now concentrate, you have to make the image axis. The image axis means y should be 3. So y should be 3 means you have to consider a horizontal line. You have to consider a horizontal line as we consider in the above case of quadratic. So from F to G also that those points will be there. All these points means all these corresponding x coordinates. These are the points of the domain which have 3 as their image. Even this point, see here. I don't know what is the x coordinate of this point, but whatever it may be, even this point, these 3 different points along with this, all these infinite points. Now this point, the blue point that I have marked, that is the point of intersection of the y equal to 3 and the graph, but the x coordinate is the actual the element of the domain. So for example, let's say if this is equals to 7, 0, this point. So 7 is the element in the domain which has 3 as its image. Is this clear? Last question also. If anyone having any doubt, unmute at that very moment. Don't wait for the end. Okay. I will move ahead. Next question. How many points of the domain have their images as -4? Images as -4. So I will have to draw a horizontal line with y is equals to -4. Y is equals to -4 horizontal. If I draw this -4 is the bottommost point. Bottommost point, you can see that there is only one. It meets the graph in only one point. So there is only one, this x coordinate which is there, x equal to 5. So how many points of the domain have their images as -4? The answer is 1 point. One element. Which is that element? X is equals to 5 in the domain. In the domain, It's not necessary to write in the domain, but just right now we are dealing with the basics I'm writing. X is the x equal to 5 is that single point in the domain which have their images -4. How many points of the domain have images -5? 0 element. 0 elements. Or should I better say 0 number of elements? Don't consider 0 is a 0 is a separate element of the 0 number of elements. No elements for that matter. And how many points have images as -3? If I tell you -3 also, now can you see that if x for image to be -3, this horizontal line complete. Horizontal this line, how many elements are there? If I consider this line, for P, x equal to -1. For this point, x equal to -2. For this point, x equal to -3. For this point, x equal to -4, and so on. Infinite points along here. Here also one point means whatever is this x coordinate. Here also another point means whatever is this x coordinate. So infinite points over here and 2 points over here. So there are infinite points of the domain which has -3 as their image. Infinite points. And how many points of the domain have 0 as their images? Now answer this question, everybody. F part, how many points of the domain have 0 as the image? Everyone should answer this. I'm expecting the answer in the chat box. Yes, Pujita, correct. Dhananjay, Afreen, you joined just now, I think so. Dhananjay, Makran, what's the answer? Dhananjay not getting. Makran, Afreen, are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Then answer in the chat box. I'm telling everyone, I'm expecting the answer in the chat box. Unless you answer, how will I get to know whether you're understanding or not? The F part, how many points of the domain have their images as 0? This question, it's a simple question. Wrong. Afreen, wrong.
Then how much, sir?
3. How many points have their images as 0? So image is equals to 0 means what? Y coordinate should be 0, and Y coordinate 0, how many is there? At this point means x equal to 0. At this point means x equal to 3. And at this point means x equal to 6. Okay. So this is the meaning of graphs. So now from this, can you see the remarks that I gave you? A line parallel to x-axis, that is the horizontal line. Line parallel to x-axis means what? This horizontal line means the, when I'm telling you line parallel to x-axis meets the graph. Meets the graph means what? Means if I tell it, the image I have given you, that say the image is fixed. If I tell you the line, let's say horizontal line where y coordinate is, let's say y coordinate is equals to 5. Horizontal line y equal to 5. So when I'm talking about horizontal line means I have fixed the image. And if I have fixed the image, how many pre-images it may have? It can have anything. There may be an element which does not have any pre-image. There may be an element which have a single pre-image, which is the image of a single element. There may be an element which is the image of more than one elements. So a horizontal line, this question number CDEF, CDE. How many points of the domain have their images as -4? So horizontal line meets the graph in exactly 1 point. How many points of the domain have their images as -5? Image as -5 means the horizontal line does not intersect the graph anywhere. Image as -3, image as -3. So the horizontal line meets at infinitely many points. So line parallel to x-axis, that is horizontal line, may intersect the graph in 0 points, 1 points, more than 1 points, infinite points, anything. But a line parallel to y-axis, that is perpendicular line, vertical line, perpendicular to x-axis, vertical line, intersects the graph of a function in exactly 1 point. If it is a function, then it should intersect in 1 point only. If it is not a function, then God only knows. Okay, for a function, it should intersect in exactly 1 point. Is this remark clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now moving ahead. Just quickly, yes, no questions. I'll give you 2 or 3 questions. Which of the following graphs represent functions? And obviously, f is from x to y. That convention is always followed. The domain axis is the x-axis. These are just yes, no questions. Function, not a function. Function, not a function. Okay.
Sir, could you just scroll down, sir? I'll just see the question.
Which of the following graphs represents function from x to y?
1 second, sir. Done, sir.
Just finish writing yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no in your books. Then in the chat box, let me know how many questions you have solved. If you're unable to solve, write EXP. But please give some response in the chat box. Pujita, I've given you 10 questions. Out of these 10, it's not that only one of them is correct. These are 10 independent questions. Each of them, the answer is either yes, it's a function, no, it's not a function. Pujita, I'm given you the feedback for one of your answers. Think why it is. Thus, I am waiting for your reply in the chat box. Okay. If the reply is not coming, so from my side, I'm assuming that you're still solving it. Okay, see, to fulfill a condition, whether a graph is a function or not, what do we have to see? Whether each point on the domain axis, each point of the domain, which is this, each point of the domain should have an image, and it should have exactly one image. So here, if you take Cx equal to 1, whether it has an image, yes, sir, it has an image. X equal to 2, whether it has an image, yes. X equal to 3, it has an image, yes. And so on. X equal to 4, it has an image, yes. X equal to -1, whether it has an image, yes, sir. Any point, let's say x equal to -3, whether it has an image. So all the points have the image, and whether do they have exactly one image, whether they have exactly one image. So they should have exactly one y coordinate. If you take any x, you choose any x coordinate x, the corresponding y coordinate should be 1 only. Different x's may have the, like here x equal to, here also it has the same y coordinate. X equal to this point also has the same y coordinate, whatever this may be. Let's say this is x equal to 3. We need not bother about this x and this x. Different x's, same image, it's possible. but single x should have single image only. So yes, this is the function. In short, a line perpendicular, vertical line, a line perpendicular to x-axis, that is vertical line, should intersect the graph in exactly one point. Horizontal line need not bother. Point, infinite points, we need not check. Second, why second graph is not a function? Why it is not a function? Because if I consider this line, about that line, so it's just that for x equal to 1, let's say this x equal to 1, x equal to 1, this point is also the coordinate, this point is also the image, whatever is the corresponding y, this is also the image of x equal to 1, and this is also the image of x equal to 1. So x equal to 1 have two different y coordinates, that is two different images, so this violates the definition of the function. So this is not a function. Third one, vertical line, it intersects the graph in one point only. Horizontal line we need not bother. Vertical line, it intersects the graph exactly one point. So this is a function. Fourth one, what about fourth one? Fourth one is, it is a function. Fourth one, it is a function because vertical lines, it intersect the graph in exactly one point. So what about here at x equal to 0? There is not a smooth curve. It's not a smooth curve, some pinpoint has notation has occurred. So we need not bother about it. That part about whether it should be a smooth curve or whether this pinpointness means that corner, whether it's applicable or not, that point is related to differentiability of a function. That is again you're jumping into calculus, but for now it is a function. It does not, it of a function. Question number 5 is also a function. Question number 6, the same reason, vertical line, it intersects the graph in 2 points. So there is an x which has two images. Okay, so this is not a function. There is also another reason to it. For also there is another point. Let's say consider x equal to -1. It has no image. It does not have any image. कोई y coordinate नहीं है. X equal to -0.5 or x equal to -2. There also do not have any images. So this is not a function. Question number 6 is not a function for two reasons. Both the conditions of function it is violating. Each and every point should have an image. So there we have found out some points which do not have an image, and also we have found more than one images. So 6th is not a function. 7th one, it is a function. Okay. So what about horizontal line? Different points are having the same image. Different points are having the same image, not a problem. 7th one, it is a function. 8th one, it is a function. All the points are having the same image. All the points of the domain are having the same image. Okay, not a problem for me. 9th one, not a function. Single point have so many images. Single point x equal to 1 have so many infinitely images. And what about other points? Other points khali baithe. Other points they do not have any images. Not a function. And 10th one, again the same reason. Not a function. More than one image. This is also the image. This is also the y coordinate. This is also the y coordinate. Not a function. Okay. Okay. Now last question of this one I'm going to give you. Was left is here. If I give you this, that's it. Whether or not it is a function. So you should see that this, actually this is a function, means there is an ambiguity over here. If I tell you this f for the 11th question, where the function is defined from R to R, from the where the domain is the complete set of real numbers, the complete x-axis. So you will say that, so this is not a function because you have drawn the graph from this segment. I have drawn 2 segments. So you may say that, sir, you may argue for this point, let's say, sir, consider this point. It does not have any image. Image ही नहीं है इसकी. Or let's say over here also, this point does not have any image. So we, in the domain, if you consider your domain to be the complete set of real numbers, then this is not a function. But as we saw yesterday, why it is not a function? Because there are some points, there are many points which do not form any image. But as we saw yesterday, some points, if the question, if I asked you the language of the question, find the domain of the function, domain and range of the functions. Question language, find the domain of f of x equal to x square. If the question language is given this such, so means I'm telling you that this mapping should be a function. Now do whatever means necessary to make it a function. So we remove the problematic points. So we restrict our domain. So from Z, here the example that we saw, from Z we removed the point 0 and we called the remaining set as the domain. So similarly over here, if I concentrate only on this much interval, which interval? From this x up to this x. If I concentrate only on this much interval, that is my x, if I restrict over only this much, then in this much interval, this graph is a function. Like yesterday's example, what is the domain of this function? So this interval, whatever is the green interval that I have drawn, that will be the domain of the function. This graph will satisfy the graph of the function. Okay. So this is called as the restricted domain. So in this much domain, in this restricted interval, this is a function. Okay. So here it is my duty, it is the duty of the question paper setter to tell you whether he's expecting you to answer from R to R or from only on this much restricted interval. Okay, that will be my responsibility to give you the correct question. Okay, understood. So okay, so we'll stop over here. Tomorrow we will continue with some graph of a function is over. Tomorrow, tomorrow you do not have the maths lecture. Okay, so on next Monday, come with a reading of NCERT, different functions, all the functions which are given in NCERT. Go through the graphs of those functions also. It will be beneficial for you. You will understand it better in the next class. Okay. Thank you, everybody.